sorry we couldn't get to 1.5, so I will be demonstrating the lesson for 1.5 now, here, so please watch as fast or as slow as you want, but please take notes in your notebooks, and take good notes, so, because maybe there'll be a home check on this, okay? Alright, here we go, guys. This aim is 1.5, this is on 1.5, okay? How do you solve inequalities? Compound 2, okay? Part 1, we'll have a few parts to this one. Please follow along and stop anytime you need to digest something and ask me questions when I see you next. Here we go. Part 1, solving simple inequalities. Translate, then solve the quotient of a number. The quotient of a number and 8 is at most. And think about at most and at least, okay? These two concepts. At least, right? At most. At least. Miss Chang has to be at least 150 centimeters tall to ride this roller coaster. That means if she's under 150, she can't ride it. Well, so I guess she can't ride it, at least, right? At least is going to be what? So x is greater than or equal to a, right? She has to be at least that height or greater, okay? At most would be the opposite, right? At most you can weigh. So I guess another one is, at most you can weigh is 500 kilograms to ride this roller coaster. That means if you exceed that, you can't ride it. That means you have to be less than that. Assuming that x is the weight here, assuming x is the height here. Try to digest that. Okay, so now let's go back to this one. The quotient of a number, so you know it's a quotient out of a number. Quotient means division, right? It's a fraction, so I'm just going to write a over b here. And I always underline key words, okay? The quotient of a number and 8 is at most -6. Okay, so quotient of a number, any number you want, okay? We could choose n, okay? That's the quotient of a number and 8 is at most. Which one is this, right? At most, -6. Think about what it means in real life, right? This means when you divide n and 8, it better be less than -6. So give me a value that works. So we have to divide this, right? So if we're talking about integers only, maybe it's going to be 56 here, right? Because -56, that means it's going to be what? -7, which is actually valid here. So that means we could just write here, we could solve this. Solve regularly, right? So we multiply by 8, so we get n is less than or equal to -48. That means any value that's less than -48 will work here. So -48 will work because it's inclusive, right? And less than, so -49, and so forth. But of course, it's all real numbers that will work, okay? So any decimal numbers between that, all right? And if we were to graph this on a number line, all I would expect from you is -48, right? And it's less than, so I'm going to say it's inclusive, and it goes this way. All right, let's go on. Solve, then graph. Keeping in mind, this solving, you just solve like an equation. Except what's the one thing that you must keep in mind? Always, when you're dividing or multiplying by a negative, at your final step, you have to flip the inequality. Please write that down. Always at the final step, if you're multiplying or dividing by a negative, you must flip the inequality. So I'm going to multiply everything by 3 here. So I'm just left with this. 3, so I'm multiplying everything, so I'll just demonstrate it like this. Remember, in Algebra 2 level, you could skip all this if you want to, if you could just do it mentally without making errors. I'm going to adjust it so I get all the A's together and all the constants together. So I get A is less than or equal to 22. And if I were to do this on a number line, easy peasy, 22 less than or equal to, so I know it's this way. All right? And I would ask also for values that make this valid, okay? So keep that in mind. So what are the values that make that? What's the first integer that makes it valid? You're right, 21. I heard you. All right, let's go here. Solve, then graph, okay? Why don't you guys stop the video and try this on your own right now, okay? All right, so I'm going to solve this. 5y plus 15 greater than. Now, I'm going to take care of everything inside here first. So it's -2, 1 minus 3y. All right, I'm going to multiply everything out, distribute. So I get -2 plus 6y. Simplify everything, I'm going to rearrange everything, and I get -y. I'm going to put the y on the other side. I don't care how you guys do it. -y less than -17. Oh, but we have a negative here, right? So I'm going to divide or multiply by a negative. I have to multiply everything by negative. Then I get y is greater than 17. Don't forget to flip the inequality and also change the sign. All right, and if you were to graph it, 0, okay? 17, maybe an 18 here just to identify that. But it's open circle because it's greater than, because it's not including 17. So the first integer that will work is actually 18, not 17, right? Sure you understand that concept? If you're confused, come see me, okay? Here's the next one. Solve, then graph. Let's simplify the left and right side first. So why don't you guys do that right now? Stop the video. All right, now that you had a chance to think about it, I'm just simplifying everything here by combining likely terms. Here's what I have so far. And okay, so I adjust everything. I get 0 is greater than -2. Now think about this. Is 0 greater than -2? No way, right? 0, yes way. Of course it is, okay? Of course 0 is greater than -2, so it's always true, right? Sorry about that. All right, 0 is always greater than -2. Therefore, it's going to be a real solution. That means as long as it's a true statement, true is good, right? True is good, so you know it's all real numbers. How about this guy? Solve, then graph. Stop the video. All right, welcome back. And you get 0 is less than -38. Is this true or false? Is 0 less than -38? Would you rather have $0 or would you rather owe somebody $38? Oh, hells no. This is false, right? Right? This is no solution. So there's nothing, maybe there's no x values that will make this guy true, no matter what you do. All right? Try to give me one. You can't, because it doesn't exist, okay? All right, let's move on, guys, to part 2. Dun, 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 dun. This is actually a little bit more difficult because these are compound inequalities. I'll cover it up so you're not overwhelmed, okay? Solve, then graph. So here we go. Are you okay? All right, okay. So you guys, all right. So you guys, I just want you guys to know something general here. And graph, just remember they're gonna connect somehow, okay? So A, B, whether it's open or closed, they're gonna connect somehow. It could be closed, closed, right? Open, open. It could be closed on one side but open on the other side. But just know that they're gonna be inclusive and connecting, okay? All right, so now let's try this. Solve this one just individually, like you're solving an equation. Pretend the inequalities don't exist. So it's 2y less than 1 on this side, 0. Divide by y, so I get y is less than 0, okay? And multiply by 2 on both sides, I get y is greater than or equal to -4. Notice I didn't flip the inequality because I didn't have to. I only multiplied by +2, not -2. All right, so you guys, now this guy can be combined. So in your books, they're going to give you the solution this way. Y such that, okay? Look at this. If you actually graph it, you guys, it'll be easier for you to see. Here's the lower bound. Here's the upper bound. It's greater than or equal to, so it's going to go this way. Greater than or equal to, right? But it's less than. So it's restricted by -4 and 0. It's open circle here and closed circle here. And here's our number line. That means it's -4, lower bound, our y value, and it's less than 0. So you see for and graphs, I would like it if it's one inequality. All right. So you guys, always the minimum, greater, you know? And this guy always go from increasing, okay? So small to big. All right, now we've done an and graph. Let's move on to an or graph. And just remember, if an and graph is where it satisfies both, that means if you look back on the and graph, if you choose any point here, it's not going to satisfy this one or this one. Here, it's going to satisfy this area, -4 to 0, between that area, -4 inclusive and 0 exclusive. It's going to satisfy both. Now, anywhere here where it's greater than 0, it's only going to satisfy one of the inequalities. All right? But if it's, remember, all we care about is and. They both better satisfy. All right? How about here? Let's do an or. Or is simply the opposite. Okay? If you have less than A, right? That means you're going to go this way, right? It could be open, 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 close, close, open, close, closed, open, okay? However the combinations, but you just know that the arrows are going to go opposite directions, all right? Let's solve this two separately. Like there's two inequalities here for you to solve. So we get -5x less than +3. X is greater than -3/5 because we simplified it by a negative. So we have to flip the inequality. Or we solve this guy, we get -2x is greater than 10 So we're left with x is less than negative 5. It's an OR graph. So let's actually just graph it for really quick just to see what it happens. Greater than negative 3/5. Which one's lower though? Negative 5 is lower, so I'm going to put that on the left side. Negative 3/5 is on this side. But it's less than negative 5, right? Less than, open circle, because it's less than, not less than or equal to. Greater than, so we know it's this way, all right? If we plug in any values between negative 5 and negative 3/5, give me a value. You say negative 2? Good, let's try that. If you try it into here, it's not going to satisfy either of them. If you try a value at negative 6, it's going to satisfy which one? This guy here, and that's okay. That's enough. It's not going to satisfy this one, but it's okay because it's or. And it's going to satisfy both, or just one or the other, all right? So let's move on to example 6, I think is a good one, okay? I'm going to take this away, guys. Example 6 looks like this. I don't want to overwhelm you, so I'm going to show you this guy here. Okay? So guys, let's try this. Solve, then graph, and we have 7q minus 1 greater than q plus 11, or negative 11q greater than negative 33. All right, so let's solve them, okay? But I want to give you a reminder. Remember, when it's or, the solutions have to satisfy one or both inequality at a time. One or both inequality at a time. What does that mean? Okay, so let's just solve this first, okay? So we get 6q is greater than 12, or q is less than 3. All right, so you guys, let's graph this really quick, okay? Oh, sorry, q is greater than 2, right? Okay, or q is less than 3. So we have 2 and 3. Q is less than 3, so we'll do this with blue. All right, q is less than 3. So q is less than 3, that means open circle, q is less than 3. That means it goes on forever this way, right? Okay, now, we're going to take the black marker, but q is also greater than 2. Okay, now, so there's 3 regions to this. Anywhere between here, here, and all the way there, that way, right? I mean, this way it goes forever, right? So you guys, I mean, there's 3 regions, 1, 2, and 3. If you plug in any values here, is it going to satisfy either of these inequalities? It is. Try a value. Try a 1. Try a 0. It's going to satisfy the blue. Okay, this one is the blue, or this one is the blue. Okay, this one is the blue, and this one is the black. Okay, follow the black line. Now, if I put in any values from 2 to 3, which is like a 3, maybe a 2.5, so 5 over 2. Okay, if you put in this, what's going to happen? It's going to satisfy both of these inequalities. If I plug in any values for here, and it's or, right? It's or, because if it's or, stand up if you're wearing black or blue. Everyone stands, a black or blue, stand up. Stand up if you're wearing black. Black stands up. Stand up if you're wearing blue. Blue stands up. You see how or works, right? If it's both, that means it's satisfying this or this, so it's okay. Now, how about here? If you plug in any values like 4, it's only going to satisfy the black inequality, but that's okay because it's an or. Right? Try to sink that in. That means, what's the solution here? The solution is all real numbers. Okay? Let that sink a little bit. Okay? So you guys, here's some values you should try. Try 0. Okay? The 0, I guarantee, is only going to satisfy the blue inequality. Blue inequality. Okay, blue. 3 over 2 is going to satisfy 3 over 2. 3 over 2 is not going to satisfy. It's only going to satisfy the blue inequality as well. Okay? 5 is going to only satisfy the black inequality. Try that, okay? All right, let's move on. Now let's go on to this AND graph here. Let's see what happens here. So go ahead and solve this. It's an AND graph, so you should know what to expect, right? Both satisfies both. Both. Not one or the other, or both at the same time, but and, which means both. So we solve this, we get z is greater than or equal to 7, and z is greater than -1. Okay? So let's actually graph that and see what happens. Again, I'm going to do it color-coded. This one's going to be the blue. This one's going to be black. Okay? So black and blue. Let's do blue first. Well, let's do this. -1 is here, and 7 is here. Okay? It says it's greater than -1. That means it's going to be not equal to, but greater. Okay? And it says here it's greater than 7. That means 7 is inclusive, so it's greater than 7. So, where is it both? It needs to be satisfied both. So it's only after 7, right? So how do we represent the answer? We say z such that z is greater than or equal to 7 is actually our answer. Because it's the only place that satisfies both. Alright? And try some of the other values and see what happens. Where is this going to go? This is going to satisfy nobody. No one, right? Because no one goes beyond this. 0 is going to satisfy black. 7 is going to satisfy black and blue. 10, black and blue as you assumed. Okay, so try those. Alright, let's move on. But you guys, stop the video and try to let it sink in, okay? Alright, I'll stop here, alright? Bye, guys. I know it's not as easy, but try some, okay? Bye.